What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. We are getting back to the offensive coordinator profiles now, and we've got two more today. This will be the first one. We'll do another one a little bit later. This first one, it's going to be over pretty quickly because this guy's young, and this guy only has a short list of resume-like experience. However, I'm going to say this of the candidates that could be gotten that are considered, I guess, sleepers, if you consider this particular guy to be very unlikely to be hired, Josh Grizzard, he's one of my favorites. I actually really like the resume of Josh Grizzard. He's been attached to a lot of things that I like and respect in recent years, and I think that this is a guy who deserves an opportunity to ascend to the level of offensive coordinator and play caller. Now, again, that comes with a lot of caveats. He doesn't have a ton of coaching experience. He's very young. He's never called plays before. He's never been an offensive coordinator in the NFL before. So, putting him above other candidates that have a little bit of a stronger base to work from, I don't think I'm going there yet. But that's more of a subjective taste on my part of what I want to do with this hire, more so than anything objective about Grizzard being qualified or unqualified or good or bad or whatever. All right. So the reason why I like Grizzard is because of his association with one of my favorite offenses in 2024. He was the passing game coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you look at that Tampa Bay offense, it's a lot of fun. It's designed very well, and it's all about making life easy on the quarterback. Baker Mayfield is not an elite quarterback in this league, not even close. If you really watch him play, if you really break things down with Baker Mayfield, I think you see a quarterback that is okay, workable, functional, and he's come a long way from where his reputation was 4 or 5 years ago. Good for him. No problem with it. But he's not an elite quarterback. And what the Buccaneers have done is build an offense around his limited skill set in a way that allows them to be very productive and successful without him having to do anything over the top crazy. So the main guy to credit there would be Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, but you can't get Liam Cohen. Why would he go anywhere? He's happy in Tampa. He's got good things going on in Tampa. So the guy to go after, if you want to try to ape what Tampa Bay did this year with Baker Mayfield, would be Grizzard. So that is the main appeal to me. That Tampa Bay offense is all about screens and rollouts and play action. Very little straight dropbacks, very few true pass sets. It's all about how do I make life easy for my quarterback? How do I make sure that he has the opportunity to do a lot of damage without actually doing anything overly hard? I think Tampa Bay runs more screen passes than any other team in the league, and the screens they run are really good. So this is going to be one of my sleeper guys. I don't know if he's on our list. Again, we don't have we're not privy to every guy that the Seahawks have met with for the OC spot. But in 2024, the Bucs, they had an elite passing attack. 4,200 plus passing yards, third in the league, and their dropback EPA was fifth, 0.211. That is elite. It's an elite passing attack, and look, they got good receivers in Tampa. They got a great offensive line, but there is so much that offense is doing to mitigate the individual talent levels of their players that it's something that I would love to try to emulate here in Seattle. Miami Dolphins was his previous team. That's where he spent his NFL career before going to Tampa last year, and he wore a few different hats. He was an offensive quality control coach under Mike McDaniel these last 2 seasons, the first 2 seasons of McDaniel's tenure after Brian Flores left. And 2023, the Dolphins offense was elite, averaged over 29 points a game, second in the league, fourth in EPA, 0.095 per play. So, I mean, hey, he's just an offensive quality control coach, but it's good results. In 2022, you've got 23.4 points per game, 11th in the league, And they also had a borderline elite EPA per play, .051. That's seventh. So good offense both years. I'm not trying to say that he's responsible for that. There are a lot of layers between him and the offense with guys like McDaniel and Frank Smith, but he's there. He's part of it, and he's part of that coaching staff in Miami that builds such a dominant, dangerous rushing attack. The 2 years prior to that, this was before McDaniel. He was the wide receiver coach, 2020 and 2021. Nothing too notable here, with the exception of Jalen Waddle in 2021, had over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards. Other than that, it was kind of whatever. You had Devontae Parker with about 500 yards, Albert Wilson with about 200, and then 2020, their receivers were not very prolific. Parker was their number one with about 800 yards. Jakeem Grant with a little shy of 400, and then Isaiah Ford with a little shy of 300. So the receivers, not super prolific. Year before that, he was a quality control coach, which is kind of interesting because they didn't specify offensive quality control coach. They just said quality control coach. Now, I would assume that somebody like this, that is clearly an offensive-minded coach, if he's affecting anything, is affecting the offense. So I put the offensive stats up for 2019. Now, it doesn't matter that much either way because the stats are not good. 19.1 points per game, that's 25th. And negative .076 EPA per play, which was 26th. So bad offense, borderline awful offense. And the 2 years prior to that, he was the offensive quality control coach again. So there seems to be some difference. I don't know exactly what it could be. If he's an offensive mind, that's the side of the ball he's going to affect. But both years, the Dolphins' offense was bad. 2018, 19.9 points per game, 26th. Negative .111 EPA per play, which was 28th. So one of the worst offenses in football. And the year before, even worse. Not even 18 points a game, 28th in the league. So either way, it's not anything to write home about. But I'd be interested to know what he does as a quality control coach that is different from what he does as an offensive quality control coach, given the fact that he is an offensive-minded coach. All right. Before then, the only coaching experience he had was his time as a graduate assistant and quality control coach. Again, quality control, not offensive quality control, for the Duke Blue Devils for 4 seasons. So Duke, I mean, I guess it's worth noting that their offense got a little bit worse with each passing year that he was there. But again, he's just a quality control coach, so it's not like that's his responsibility. 2013 was the best season for the Duke Blue Devils offense. Almost 33 points a game, 41st in the country. Next year, 32.4 points, about the same, 43rd. Next year, 31.5, very similar, 48th. And then the bottom kind of fell out in 2016, his final year before going over to Miami. Interestingly enough, this was also the first year Duke got Daniel Jones as their quarterback. So that's about the most notable player that he crossed paths with during his time at Duke. But I guess overall the results are pretty decent, pretty workable. But again, we're not really looking at this stuff. We're looking at the stuff that has happened recently. And between him coaching under Mike McDaniel and him participating in Tampa Bay's passing attack in 2024, I like him. I don't like him more than some other candidates. And I don't know if it overrides the fact that he has a relatively small amount of experience and no play calling experience. But this is a guy who, based on the information we have, I feel like he's going somewhere. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks.